So this is a kind of free workshop that I thought it to share the basic knowledge about Spring Boot and microservices with everyone. It's a short and sweet session. We will use the next 3 hours of time for this. Okay. So between, if you have any queries also, you can ask me, right? And once again, thank you all. I would like to ask you to register everyone in this group. I'm sharing it with everyone. So you can sign up here. And I'm sharing one more link. You all must able to see a chart link. You can sign up there, and I'm sharing Google Drive link also. So you can click on this Google Drive link. So it will show you the document, whichever we are working now, right? You all able to see it in live. Okay. So yeah. Do you guys able to sign up? Am I audible to everyone? Can you hear me? I see Amit, Anand, Ankit, Naresh, Harlin.
Yes, we're trying to sign up.
Prakash, Rahul, Shivanath, Swapnil, Yamuna. So how many of you first time attending my sessions? I see few are from my regular batches.
I'm attending for first time.
Amit. And anyone? Anand? You?
Hi, sir. I am Naresh. I am also. This is the first time.
First time, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Hi, sir. It's Anand here. I am also the first timer.
Okay. And who else? Amit?
Hello, sir. Rahul is for
Yeah,
me
Rahul.
also it's first time.
Okay. Great. Prakash?
Yeah, hello, sir. I am also first time.
Okay. And who else? Manshur? Is it first session for you?
Yeah, sir. I am. Yeah, first time.
Okay, great.
I am also attending first time. Ganesh.
Yeah. Okay. So if they are if my students are there, I know about them, their background and their expectations. So, well, basically, this is what I wanted to cover on very high level about the Spring Framework and Spring Boot features, if possible with examples also, and about microservices I wanted to cover in today's session. Okay, including the basic solid principles also. Okay, this is what I wanted to cover. So may I know, if you are first time joining here, do you have Spring knowledge before? Have you guys worked on Spring, or did you attended any sessions for Spring?
Yes, sir. I have the Spring knowledge.
Spring and Spring Boot?
Yes.
Spring Boot microservices. So what you are expecting from this session? Are you looking for hello?
Actually, I have the little knowledge. I saw somewhere like document or a video. That's it only.
Okay. Great. Yeah. And what about others? Amit? So
I have some knowledge about Java, but not exactly about the frameworks.
Okay.
And same here also. Not having that much knowledge in Spring.
Okay.
I have some knowledge about Spring and Spring Boot.
Okay.
Not in deep.
Okay.
No idea on the Spring and microservices. First time I'm coming to this.
Okay. Great. So, yeah. So whoever, having no knowledge also, definitely, I believe you will get some good knowledge from this 3 hours workshop. Definitely, you would able to understand what is the Spring framework, why it became that much popular, and how we are using Spring Boot for developing microservice based applications. And we can see about Spring framework also. Before Spring Boot, we used to work on Spring framework, how Spring framework used to work. That knowledge you will get. And yeah, so shall we start then?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Great. So I shared the WhatsApp link. I see if you joined. Others also please join there. This is the WhatsApp link. Once again, I'm sharing. Okay. So just click on it and join this WhatsApp group. Okay. Any future updates or workshops or any sessions happening from my side, right? I will update to everyone. Okay. So yeah, please sign up. So let us start with Spring framework, or before Spring framework, let us see about MVC. Okay, so about MVC, we will start. You all must aware of MVC architecture, right? It's a basic architecture that we use for any application development in Java. Okay, again, you may ask what is the application, right? So applications are various types, right? Many types of applications we can build using Java based applications, right? What type of applications you can build in Java? You can build any web applications, any web application which is running in one server. For example, if you want to create your own blog, Java blogs, if you want to create using Java blogs, if you want to create Java blogs, again using Java, like tutorials point, you all aware of it, right? DURGASOFT.com, which will show the courses, and
Yes.
Geeks for Geeks. There are many online tutorials we have. So such blogs if you want to create, so you can create web applications. In that web applications you can create multiple web pages, and in that web pages you can put your blogs. In that blogs you may put your core Java content, advanced Java, Spring Boot, microservices, whatnot, anything, whatever you are aware of it, you can create blog and you can share with your friends and your colleagues, or to whomever you want to share your knowledge. Whatever knowledge you have, you may share with them by creating such blogs, right? So not only that, not only static pages, right? For all these static pages must be enough, right? Static pages you can create. You all must aware of static pages, right? Simple HTML pages, which are really not required any Java code. But if you want to provide something sign up feature, users, if they want to register into your application, you need to write some Java code, right? A login page if you want, login, registration to your blog to get daily updates and all. So login, register kind of things, if you want to implement, you can code them. You can code them in servlets, right? Using servlets and some database you can use, and you can design this login module also. This is dynamic module. So when you design this login and register for static pages, you don't need any special Java logic, or dynamic servers are not required. Easily you can create and you can host your static pages into Git pages. GitHub, everybody know, right? In Git you can host it directly. So your blog will be ready. If you know basic HTML, your blog is ready. In your blog, if you want to dynamic operations like logging, registration, once after student registration, if you want to send email notifications, you will get notifications, right? If you register with any website, you must be seeing that they used to send offers and courses to you. They will send so and so course is starting. They will send so and so new module is added. Go and learn. Like that, they will
Yes.
send mail notification. So if you need that mail notification kind of stuff, something email services you can implement. So email APIs you can use here. Email Google is providing. You can use Google email services to provide that. Gmail will provide you featured. So using this Gmail API, you can again, right, create this module with Servlet and Gmail email API. And if you want to store that mail content database, you can use database also. So these technologies are enough to create your blog. What we are talking about web applications. Here we are talking about purely web application. Okay, so this web application you can build and you can run it in a server. Finally, you coded everything where you should run, where you need to host it. You need a server. You need to buy a server, maybe cloud you can use, or else you can run it on your local machine. Maybe if you purchase one dual processor kind of machine, right? A good machine, server machine. Maybe if you can invest up to 1 lakh rupees, you may get good server machine also. In your local machine itself, you install Tomcat and you install MySQL database or Oracle database, and you can host your blog. You need not to buy any cloud services. If you have proper local machine and internet and power backup, 24/7 power backup, if you have, you can use it. And finally, if you want to host it, like you need www.somethingblog.com, right? Your blog with your name. Let's say Amit wants. So Amit Java blogs, if you want to create, you need to buy this domain. GoDaddy, you all must aware of, right? GoDaddy will provide such domains. So you can buy this domain and you can link this to your IP. So whatever local machine is having, right? You can map to your local machine IP plus wherever you are running your port number. So if you can give, automatically your application will be up in this server. So this is one way web application you can create. The same web application with less efforts if you want to create. In servlets, you need to write a lot of code. Good skills you should have to create Java code, right? Servlets code especially. You need to know how to implement servlets, how to process requests, how to handle sessions. All this you need, and you need to specially download Tomcat kind of container. And you need to write good coding, right? Connecting with databases, good connection pool logics you need to write. So you all need to put that efforts from the coding side, right? In your code, you need to follow all the best practices. In your code, right? You need to create connection pools. You need to create multiple servlet classes. You need to handle sessions. You need to write good database queries, right? Multiple queries you need to create. So a lot of, if there is any complex query, if you are not aware of, if you are not a good DB guy, you need to put so much efforts here to create this application, right? Definitely, you should know what is connection pool, what is servlet, what is session, database queries, how to connect with the database, to read the information, mail information or users information, right? These efforts you need to put. So basically, as a one man, if you are developing this web application in Java, that too by using servlets, maybe you need to spend your time here, maybe 1 month of time. Maybe if you are a good guy, you may develop it in 50 days. Let's assume in your free time after your office, if you try to put efforts, 30 days efforts may be required here for you to develop this web application. So for the same web application with less efforts, so here you are putting, good number of efforts to create all this. With less efforts, if you want to create this with less efforts, and basically Tomcat also you need here, right? On top of all this, you need Tomcat also. Tomcat, and properly you need to put your port number, you need to generate a var file and deploy. You all aware of it, right? Do you agree? This is all you need to do. for web application, correct? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, with less efforts, without all these also, you can develop the code, right? So the same Java application using a framework. So here, the same web application, you can develop the same Java blog you can create. The same Java blog you can create here. The same thing you can create here for the same application, right? You may use technology stack like this, right? For coding, code side, right? Connection pool in Spring Boot, if you go with Spring Boot, right? Not required to create. You need not to create, no code. Okay, fine. So I don't need to have connection pool knowledge. Though you have the connection pool knowledge also, you don't need to put any efforts. Spring Boot will take care. And servlets, not at all required, just you need to create one API. And what about database queries and all? You need not to write any database. Repositories already pre-coded, Spring Boot given. So no code. So just what you need to do, just to create a API. The only thing that you are going to create is API. Still, do you feel that I can't create API? I'm too lazy to create this API also. Can I get it from somewhere? No, you need to create it. There are some tools also to avoid this. This one, for this one also, if you want no code, there are some tools, you can do it. But what you will do, end of the day, you don't do nothing, right? At least create APIs. So you need to create API. At least this API you need to create. Means a simple controller class, that's it. Bus, you are done. You need not to use any Tomcat also. Tomcat also providing by Spring Boot. No code or no software. You need not to download it. So what you need to create? If you see overall, one API class, one simple API class you are implementing. That's it. And efforts, very less number of efforts. For login and for notification, one mail service, code you need to write. That's it. Hardly you may spend, within a week you can deliver it. And your code also will not create unnecessary problems, because Spring Boot teams, Spring Boot given by good architects, right? They all designed this framework given to us. So they are proven architectures, they are proven framework. So you no need to put any efforts here. Just if you put effort to create a simple API, that itself is enough to launch your web application. So coding side, very less number of efforts you are going to put. So that is what framework is, right? When we call something as a framework, if it is handling so many things without our intervention, we call it as a framework. Okay, so a simple example I have given in our Spring Boot session also to the people, right? So for example, consider Java is like a car. Java is like a car. Okay, consider there is a car. There is a car. Consider a small car which is having manual gears. Okay, you all must be aware of gears, right? Manual gears. Manual gears you have in this car. So manual gears you have in this car. So if you want to drive this car, you should be expert. Definitely, right? You should be expert. Who can drive the car? How many of you can drive? Maybe many of you, right? I was not aware until last 5 years. I don't know how to drive. Because of these gears, I practiced almost for 3-4 years. I don't have car that time. So I used to, take my friends' cars and I used to do practice how to, they used to teach me. This is how you need to press clutch and you need to release. Then you need to apply first gear, second gear, third gear. Based on the speed, you need to release the clutch and you need to apply the gear. And this is how you need to press the brake. So many things I learned. It took, more than Java, right? I spent a lot of time to learn the car because it is having manual gears. You should be very skilled. skilled guys need to train you, or else you need to join, driving school, and you need to put efforts. Still, you will not get the confidence when you go into the traffic. Instead of manual gears car, if it is a auto gear car, do you really need to put that many efforts to learn the car? Auto gear car, if it is, kids also can play. Right? My son is having one playing car. It is not having any gears. We will put the charging, and when I give it car, right, he will drive like us only. It is having brake. He will drive it. If I take him to down, right, in my apartment, he will drive it, and he will do the drifting also with it. So he don't have any skills to drive such cars. For me, it took almost 20 plus years. For him, we give an auto car, a small car, so he's driving it. So where the difference is happened here, when it is manual gears car, you need to put a lot of efforts. You need to learn how to drive this car. When it comes to auto gears, you need not to have any skills. Inbuilt, whoever built this car, they designed this manual gears in such a way that based on speed, automatically gears will apply internally. Auto gears also will apply gears internally without your intervention. You need not to do anything. Just you need to put your car in drive mode, and just you need to press accelerator. Wherever you want to stop, just you need to hit your brake. Correct? So lot of efforts here, right? As a man, I spend lot of time to learn the car. Lot of time to learn car, around 20 years of my age. But my son is driving with 5 years. It's a small toy car. Of course, if he grown up, he can drive easily the auto gear car also, because no much difference. Just he need to able to touch the pedal and brakes. That's it. He can also able to drive. So from this scenario, what I wanted to tell you is you need not to have much skills to drive the auto car. Similar way here, consider this manual gears car is like a simple Java J2SE or J2EE, J2SE and J2E, given by Sun Microsystem or Arkil. They given plain APIs. They are like manual gear cars. Using them also, you can build your application. Right? The Spring and the frameworks, not only Spring, the frameworks are like auto gear cars. Especially Spring Boot is a super car. It is a auto driving car also, like your Tesla car. Spring Boot is like a Tesla car. Spring Framework is like a auto gear car. Spring Boot like a Tesla car. Automatically, it will drive. Just you need to put your, in US, the cars are running, right? Tesla cars. Just they need to put their source and destination locations. That's it. They can sleep and they can work. They need not to drive the car. Automatically, it will go. Here also we have the technology, just road assistance technology we have in a few cars, but not like Tesla, right? So Spring Boot is like a Spring Framework. Spring Framework is like a auto gear car. And the Spring Boot is like auto gear with auto drive. Yes. You all will agree. If you know about them, really will agree with it, right? So this is how, if you go with the Spring Framework or Spring Boot framework, right? It's easy to build an application. It's easy to drive your application. It's easy to write the code in your application. Basic Java knowledge, if you have, that is enough for you to create any web applications here. Again, web applications we can divide as a distributed applications also. If it is a simple blog application, you can use one single server to run your application. Instead of that, you have like an online food delivery application, or instead of Java blog application, if you have a small e-commerce application, let's say you are living in a city, second level, second tier cities like Ahmedabad, or here in Telangana, or Andhra cities like Tirupati, right? So in that place, if you want to deliver some food, or if you want to deliver your products within that city range, if you want to build an application, all right, you can build your application as a e-commerce application. Small scale, why I am saying here is, for large scale applications, apart from your Java side, other infrastructure also required. I don't want to go into that now, but still you can develop any scale, any kind of application, a small scale to large scale applications also you can build in your Java. Okay, so in case if you want a big size application, let's say if you want to travel with your family, car must be enough. If you want to travel like 100 people at a time, if you want to travel, or at a time 1,000 people if they want to travel, car may not be enough. You need to book a train. It can carry any number of people. It will have a lot of compartments. So a lot of compartment means they are like a single applications. You can divide your application into multiple compartments. We call it as microservices. We call it as microservices. We need to together attach all that compartments so that it will become a train. So same way microservices also, right? Here up to here we are talking about single application. Okay, so a small web application, if you want to build, you can build it. It is simple to build using Spring Framework and Spring Boot. If you want to build a large scale application, all right, so you want to handle products management, customers related things, if you want to create in a separate code base, I'll tell you why you need to create this many. Consider this is like a train. If you want to handle so many things, lot of customers are coming. Okay, so here I have customer portal. If you visit Flipkart or Amazon, you will go directly into your customer portal and you will order products. So with simple customer portal itself, do you able to order them? Who are adding all the products, right? Business will add the products. So inventory or product management will be there. Product management system, one more system they will have. So using this product management system, people like who are selling their products, right? Let's say if you want to sell in Amazon, you can book your Amazon business account. Let's say something Naveen wants to sell his products through Amazon. He has some books. He want to sell his books. So using product management, this person will go there and he will add his product in this product management. So the customer portal will use product management data to show the books when somebody searched for the books here. A customer came like Amit. So this is my bookstore, a bookstore person. As a bookstore person, I am adding products here. Add books. As a customer. So Amit is a customer. He want to buy the products. So he will order products here using customer portal. He will order it. So maybe order management, everything you will implement here. He will order books. And how many stock, how much stock is there? Maybe as a vendor, I might forget to add more books. So if I forget to add, Amazon also will see the loss. Let's say if this vendor is having some problems, right? He should able to inform the problems also, right? And as an Amazon partner, right? We are the partners. Let's say you are the Amazon partner. You should follow up with them. Hey man, your books are, not there in the system. Would you like to add more books? Or do you want to remove your business from the Amazon? These people can ask. Who can ask? Inventory people. So Amazon business people can ask them by checking the inventory, how much stock is there. So this inventory people can check inventory. Check the inventory by connecting with the system. So inventory people may be Amazon, something employee. A employee will be there from Amazon side. He'll continuously monitor all the inventories, whether that books are still there in the Amazon.com or not. If not there, then he will do the follow-ups or emails to that all the vendors by saying that, or an automated system also they can create automatically emails will send to everyone by saying that please add books. You have low stock, right? If customers want to purchase 10 books, you have only 5 books. There is a low stock in your system. This inventory people can warn them. So inventory management system, inventory management. And reports, if I want to check all the reports. For reports, if you have one report service, Jeff Bose, if you want to check what's happening throughout his Amazon, if you want to monitor the revenue, right? So check the revenue by understanding all sales happening throughout the month. For this Jeff, he will log to report service. Here he can see all the reports, right? All purchase reports, profit reports, how much profits he got, loss reports, whatever reports he want. He can check and he can see how his system is going on. If there are less sales, he can call to inventory management, right? The higher level management who are there in the inventory, he can tell them, you need to follow up with the customers, or you need to follow up with the product people, business people who is adding the products, right? So that you should make sure that our business should get the lot of profits instead of losses. So this is how multiple systems need to be integrated together, because lot of persons will involve here to add the books. Not only books, anything you can purchase from Amazon, right? So a lot of vendors are there, they will add the products into the system. Lot of customers are there, they will do the orders. Lot of Amazon employees are there, they will verify continuously your inventory and the customer related queries, everything they will monitor here. And reportings, high level managements will check the reports, report services also will there. All the systems will connect together. So such a system, if you want to develop, you can develop it using Spring Boot, right? You can consider this like a train. You need to integrate train together, right? Then only it will become a complete train. Why you need to make it pieces? Did you understand why train is having multiple compartments? Do anybody know that? I mean, it's a basic thing, right? Why they have compartments? Basically, when there are turns, right? If they build a straight line train, right, it cannot able to turn when there are turnings. So that is one reason. So if there are many turns, it should able to turn itself, right? So that's why between compartment and compartment, they will put the links so that it can able to flexibly can move. And in future, if one compartment damages, it should not stop the entire train, right? One compartment, because of some accident or because of some physical damages to the wheels, you want to remove one compartment. It is easy, just between that compartments you need to remove the link and you can add the new compartment. So that flexibility also you have with the trains. But if you see the bus, back side of the bus is damaged, can you able to use the front side bus? No, it is not possible. So if anything damaged, that's gone. If it is repairable, then we can repair it. But until repairing it, same bus we cannot use. 1 month if it is going to take, let's say car example only, you build everything here, your car got damaged, then you need to put it in shed for weeks until the car is repaired. Even in Spring Boot or whatever, wherever you develop it, if it got application. If it see any errors, you need to fix the errors and you need to redeploy it. Until then, with errors only, people will start, people will use it. So if you want to shut down that period, you need to shut down it. Or if you want to leave it for the customers, let them use until I fix the issues. You need to fix the issues and you need to deploy. So continuously, if you get the issues, even for the car also, if you get the issues, what will happen? For every week, you need to put it in the workshop. They need to repair it and they will deliver it. Right? So that is bad idea, right? But we don't have option. For 2 persons, we can't buy 2 cars. 1 car is enough. But when you want to drive many people, maybe single car might not enough, right? Like a train kind of thing you need, right? So you need to integrate all the compartments together. So if you want to design such application, we call it as microservices application. Earlier we call it as distributed application. This distributed application you can develop in J2E. That is very difficult. As I said, right? It is like a manual gear. Same thing you can develop in Boot also. We call it as microservices. In Spring Boot also you can develop, we can call it as microservices. We can call it as microservices. So if you develop it in Spring Boot, the advantage is everything is ready. Just you need to implement your APIs only. Integration is easy, maintenance is easy, everything is easy in Spring Boot, but not in J2EE. Imagine if this application, if you develop in J2EE for your city, as I said, right? For Tirupati city, you want to create such application and you want to sell the products. For this application, if you choose J2EE, right? If you go to any company to build this application, they will charge up to 50 lakhs for you for the development cost itself. And again, for the deployments, they will say buy this server, this database, that database. And again, they will bill 50 more lakhs. So 1 crore rupees investment you need to put. After putting 1 crore rupees investment on this by using J2EE, end of the day, you don't know whether your business will run or not. If you don't follow good strategies, you may not able to run your business. But if you build it in Spring Boot, in very less cost, maybe in hardly 2 to 3 lakhs, you can implement this application and you can deploy it. So up to 97, 98 lakhs, you can save from the application side itself. So if your application runs well, okay, you will get the revenue. If not, you are not seeing very huge loss also here. So that's why many applications are building in Spring Boot. Developing Spring Boot applications are easy and maintenance of application also easy. So if you do that in J2EE, it is not that much easy. Okay, so this is how you can build your web applications or microservices applications by using Spring or Spring Boot, right? If you want to develop any such application, right, consider a simple application, right, with the registration and login, this kind of use cases. If you want to create Java use cases, right, using Spring Boot or microservices, or by using servlets or Jdbc also, right, we follow this MVC pattern, model view controller pattern. Okay, so model view controller pattern we follow. So this is a simple architecture pattern that we follow. As per this pattern, what we do before this pattern, right, if you don't have this MVC pattern, what will happen, without this MVC pattern, right? With MVC, without MVC, let's see. Without MVC, which means if you don't put any architecture pattern to your developers, what they will do, everything they can write it in a single class. One Java class can have all the logics. Your UI code you can have here, right? HTML code also you can write in servlets, right? UI code you can have, your Java code, which means request handling code, right? Your servlet code you can have here, your database code you can have here. Everything you can write in a single Java class itself. Everything, what not, everything you can write. everything in one class. So if you do that, what will happen in future? If one thing, if you want to save, if one thing, if you want to, change UI side code or servlet code or database code, one thing, if you want to change, you need to interrupt your code, you need to edit and you will modify it. That modifications may break your existing code also. Maintenance of this application will become very much difficult if you write everything together. Maintenance of application is not easy. It's not easy. It is so much difficult if you write everything together. And if others try to read it, others cannot able to understand. If somebody new developer, if you hire one developer who was working, he resigned and he went, right? Others, if want to read and understand, they can't easily understand. Readability, very less readability. Readability also not there. But if you go with MVC pattern, while writing your code, if you say to your developers, right, hey man, don't implement everything together. Please implement UI code separately and controller classes separately, backend side. Particularly in MVC, we will divide code into two layers, okay? One is UI layer. We call it as view. Sorry, let's say front end, back end. So for front end, you will use all the UI technologies, right? UI you can create here, front end UI using HTML, JavaScript, JavaScript and JS, CSS, and any Angular, React, anything you can use here. And you can integrate that with your Java code. Back end side, you can use Java. And while using Java, right, you will be writing controller classes, you will be writing service classes. We will separate the code, right? Only view logic we will put here. And we read that data. Let's say registration you are doing here. We read that registration data here in controllers. If some student try to register into your portal, registration read operations we do here, and we send it to service layer. Any email notifications and all, if you want to send, we do that logics here in the service layer, email notifications and all. And if you want to do any calculations also, you do here. Once I've done with everything, if you want to save your data, for writing database logics, we use again a separate class. We call it as DAO. We send it to DAO. DAO will finally save your data into database after all these operations. Without this many layers also you can write, but the problem is readability and maintainability. Both are not easy. Finally, you connect with your database system from DAO. So this is how clearly you need to do logical separation and you need to implement your application in MVC. You need to use MVC, model view controller pattern. We call it as model view controller. Model view controller pattern we should follow. So if you follow this, better code readability and logic separation you can do here. Separate views, controllers, service classes, and DAOs. Service and DAOs you can call it as model. This is model part. This is model part. So model, view, controller. So if you combine these three layers, it will become an application. Okay, this is how we follow model view controller architecture for building applications in Java or .NET, PHP, Python, or whatever it is, whatever technology you use. You need to follow that pattern so that clear logical separation you do. So in future, if a person resigns and leave the company, if somebody come into application, they can easily understand your application, right? So that is what MVC. Okay, so do you guys wants to take break? Till here you understand, right? What is a framework? Why we need to go with Spring framework rather than the Java J2EE? Guys, you all with me or sleeping?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us take 5 minutes or break, right? Then we will continue. Okay, I'll show you. I will start with Spring basic, one example in Spring and Spring Boot and microservice examples I'll give you. Okay. So if you get the basic understanding about Spring Boot and microservices, right? You will be in a good position with somebody if you want to learn later, right? Easily you can understand what is Spring, what is microservices, right? Yeah. Even our batches, new batch is also going to start. You may join there to learn. Okay. Yeah, take 5 minutes break and come back. We'll start sharply. 5 minutes are enough or 10 minutes? Now it is 12. Shall we come back by 12:10?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Have some tea or coffee and come back. We will have interesting discussion. Okay. Thank you all. This line will be open. You all stay. Okay. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm back. Okay. You all there?
Yes, sir. There.
Yeah, Ashok, you join.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let me start with MVC. We understand, right? So we understand basically what kind of application we can develop and what is the difference between basic Java and J2EE. We compared with manual gear car and auto gear cars, and it is easy in Spring Framework or Spring Boot. I compared Spring Framework as like an auto gear car, and Spring Boot is like an auto gear with auto driver car, right? So that much comparisons you can take when you compare with Java, J2EE with the Spring Framework. And when we should go with this Spring Boot microservices architecture is when the application size is very big and many different types of customers are involving into the system to make your application as a customer centric, right? For each customer, if you want to maintain different set of applications, you can separate them and you can distribute that applications into multiple servers and you can integrate them. That job you can do in microservices. And any application when you want to code, we follow MVC pattern. Without MVC, if you write the code, everything we club together, and this will create a lot of problems from the maintenance side. And if others will also understand, they can't easily understand your code. So if you do clear logic separation in MVC, if you create separate views, controller, service, DAOs, your code is flexible enough for doing modifications, and it is flexible for reading also. Okay. And while designing this MVC code, right, in any framework, you need to follow MVC with solid principles. Follow MVC with solid principles, basic principles they are, and read about solid. Maybe I'll conduct one workshop for solid itself. Okay. So even in 10 minutes also I can cover it, but you will not understand full-fledged. Okay. So MVC with solid principles, if you create your application is so much flexible. You will get so much flexibility if you follow with solid. Solid means not making it very, harder, like an iron ball. Solid means making your application flexible. Solid application patterns. Solid means S means what it is: single responsibility, open and close, likshow, substitution, interface, segregation, dependency, inversion, right? We call it. By combining all that 5 principles is a solid. If you follow solid principles to write your code, right, your code is so much flexible for doing future modifications. And in future, if you want to do the version changes also, it is easy. Can you please go on mute if you guys not talking? Yeah. So follow solid rules to create your MVC classes. Okay. Solid are simple patterns. Okay, simple patterns you need to follow during writing of your code. Few of these patterns Spring Framework itself is following internally. All these patterns Spring Framework internally it is following, but whatever code you customize, right, whatever code you customize it, so for that code you need to follow, you also need to follow the solid principles. Okay, those are the best principles to write the clear code. Okay. Anyway, we are not going to talk very in detail about solid. We will talk about Spring Boot and Spring Framework. Okay. Let us start about Spring Framework. We compared the Spring Framework, right? Spring Framework with Java J2EE. Java J2EE is like I said, manual gear car. Let's keep this comparison until the end of the session. And we compared this with Spring Framework. Spring Framework is having some kind of flexibility like auto gear. And a Spring Boot is like auto gear with auto drive mode. So in Spring Boot, you can do auto drive mode manually. If you want to drive also, you can drive. I mean, I don't want going to that discussion now. So it is having so much flexibility. Just in a simple words, you can understand it. In Java J2W, if you do, it's like a manual gear car. So you need to have a lot of skills to learn that car and to drive the car. So the problem is here, need a lot of skills. Need lot of skills for driving. And here for auto gear car, easy to drive, less skills. And here, no drive. Just if you know how to sit, that is enough. Okay. So if you know where you are going, that is enough. If you know where you want to go. That would be enough. Right? You need to just set locations like, Tesla. This is like Tesla car. Right? Example like Tesla car. Auto drive cars, we have many cars in the market, right? Many cars we have. Auto gear cars, we have many. Kias, Maruti, whatnot, Nissan, Toyota. All the brands are having automatic cars also. Right? If you are buying a car, I would suggest you to go with auto gear car. If you drive manual gear car for many years, right, you will get definitely knee pains. Of course, if you do coding in Java J2W also, you will get pains. Right? Lot of code you need to write. Right? So if you go with Spring or Spring Boot, it is easy to develop application. You will not see much pains here. Okay. So yeah. So let's start with the Spring framework. Right? Spring framework internally is using Java concepts only, but they designed a lot of classes. Right? As I said, auto gear car internally is having manual gear system. It will apply automatically. There is a different kind of technique they will use to shift the gears automatically. So Spring framework designed on top of Java only, using Java concepts only, using Java modules only. Spring framework is designed. So Spring is designed Spring framework designed right on top of Java only. So Java versions only it is using whatever current Java version we have. On that current Java version only, Spring Boot also will be designed and delivered. Who will create this Java? Oracle. Oracle is taking care of this Java. Oracle people continuously working on this R&D in Java, and they are giving new versions. So currently in market, we have Java 21 version also, right? Java 21 or 22. So still people are there in Java 7 only. Many industry people. Java 7, Java 8, now Java 9, Java 11, Java 17 or 16. So many versions we have. So all that versions are providing by Oracle only. On top of this Java version, Spring framework. Spring framework creating modules. Spring framework updating their modules. Which modules we have in Spring framework? Spring framework is having a lot of modules like IOC, AOP, MVC, Jdbc, ORM, security, transactions. So many modules they have. All these modules designed on top of Java only. Java libraries and some other third-party libraries also. Some Apache libraries, all are open source libraries only they are using. All other open sources. Other open source libraries also they are using. You know, right? Open source means free. All other open source libraries. Other open source APIs also they are using along with Java. By using all this, they combined as a Spring framework. On top of Spring framework, including some configurations and some servers, default configurations you can say, and some servers. Default configurations and some embedded by including all these Spring modules, including default configurations and embedded servers, Spring Boot is designed. Yes, Spring Boot internally using your Spring framework libraries only, including default configurations and embedded servers. This is what Spring Boot is. Spring Boot is combination of all. Now, if you see hierarchical, right? Here, Spring Boot is having Spring framework with default configurations and embedded servers. Spring framework is again using other all open source libraries with Java. So we are in this layer, on top layer. Here we are using Spring Boot. So this many layers internally we have. So lot of stuff already, very skilled developers, right? Whoever worked on the Spring framework or Spring Boot. Spring framework and Spring Boot are from pivotal organization. Pivotal teams continuously working on it, right? Pivotal is an organization. We need to really thank them. We need to thank them that they given this framework. Because of this framework, lot of opportunities we have in Java, right? Especially backend developers. Because of Spring. If no Spring, then our job is so much difficult, and people also may not show interest to develop their applications. As I said, right, small scale applications may not show interest to move into the market, especially in Java. So pivotal software. So they are the people who's providing support for Spring. See, subsidiaries, they have Spring Proof Innovations, founders, Bill Cook, so many people are there, pivotal organization. So this is the company who actually providing support for Spring, who designed Spring and providing continuous support. So pivotal teams are continuously working on it. Yeah, you may search their blogs. Excuse me. లేదు మాలో ఉంది కదా మరి అంతే కాదు లేకపోతే వస్తే నేను లేదు జీవోలో ఎవరు ఉంటాయి అచ్చా ఆ స్వామి అయితే మీరు పంచులు మీరు ఎక్కడ పెడతారు స్వామి సార్. Yeah, I'm back. Okay, so now pivotal and VMware, all these are combined together, and the people are continuously working. No, never like before, never like other frameworks, they designed a strong framework. Nearby there is no other framework and there is no other language which is competing to Spring Boot, right? There is nothing nearby to the Spring Boot. Spring Boot is having lot of features, lot of flexibilities, lot of cloud support. We have so many things they given, and they made everything simple, plug and play. right? Just we need to pick that component and just we need to add it into our project. That's it. You need not to write the code also. So they minimized a lot of coding, right? We need not to have, special technical skills. If you know how to Google it, just Google for that feature in Spring Boot. That's it. Bring that feature and add into your application. It's so much easy for learning also. So many blogs are available for the Spring Boot. It is easy to work on Spring Boot. Okay, so we are going to see Spring Boot, right? We are going to see Spring Boot. Spring Framework also is having these modules. So I'm covering from very beginning, right? In regular sessions, Spring Framework, Spring Boot, and using Spring Boot microservices. Using Spring Boot microservices are services we build by using Spring Boot only. Spring Boot is having microservices support. We build using Spring Boot and Spring Cloud. We will create microservices, right? There are so many features in Spring Boot itself. Okay, so now let us start with Spring Boot. You all aware of Spring Framework, right? Spring Framework is having again important modules like IOC, right? This IOC, let's say if someone wants to skip learning all other modules from Spring Framework also, you can skip, but at least try to learn IOC module. Learn this IOC module, and remaining modules you can learn in Spring Boot also. The same thing we can cover in Spring Boot also. Here, a lot of coding, we will do in Spring Framework. And when it comes to Spring Boot, very less code we will use to create Spring Boot applications. At least I would recommend you to learn IOC. Okay, so Spring Framework IOC. Okay, for you, what I will do, let me copy this before going ahead, right? Copy, paste the blog link I shared, right? You people must be able to see this, right? Let me paste these images also there. MVC pattern. Yeah. Now let me start with basic IOC example, okay? Spring Framework IOC example. One example I will give you here. Spring Framework. Out of Spring Framework IOC module, let us see. So IOC module, in the sense, there are few jar files we have, okay? Spring Core jar file, right? Spring Core, everything. Frameworks will provide all their classes as jar files. You can download them and you can start utilizing them. Spring Core jar file, Spring Context jar file. We call this two as core module. Okay, IOC module. So in this core module, we have so many features. This core module is having this list. What that list? It is having containers. Spring IOC is having containers. And it is having, excuse me, it is having features like dependency injection. It is having features like auto wiring. And it is having great features like lifecycle management. And it is having features like, these are the main important things. You should not miss them. You should not miss even one from these 5 features. Okay, life cycles, and one more thing is stereotypes, the most important one. Stereotypes. So you need to understand this first 5. Okay, if you can understand this 5, you can jump to Spring Boot discussions. You can jump to Spring Boot discussions. If you want to start with IOC, right? Basically, what IOC means is, I mean containers. Container means they given built-in Spring framework given built-in container support. So they're given built-in container support. Okay, built-in containers we have. So what that containers will do? What is the job of that Spring Boot containers? Right, let us see about it. Okay, the first feature about containers. When you implement any application, okay, for example, right, for example, food delivery system, online food delivery system you want to develop, right? So online food delivery system maybe for your city. Okay, first you want to trial run in your city itself online food delivery system, right? Something like Foodie, right? The app name is Foodie. Here you want to develop it. So you want to develop it means you need to write something UI code here, plus you need to write some kind of API classes here, and you need to write some services classes here, and you need to write some DO classes. If you combine all this together with the database, you can call it as an application. Okay, you can call it as an application. Now we will not talk very less about UI. UI is part of HTML, jQuery and all. So this we can separate it and we can develop it separately. But at least from backend side, you need to implement your API services and DAOs. If you use Spring Framework, to design it, all your classes finally are going to run, right? So all these classes, you need to configure all these classes into one XML file. This XML file, you need to load it into your IOC. This is how you need to create your application. So you need to write all classes, configure your classes into XML and load it into IOC. This IOC will do what, it will create objects, API classes, service and DO classes objects, and it will prepare your application for ready, for user readiness, right? It will prepare all these classes. Okay, it will prepare all these classes. IOC, consider this like a start button, engine start button. Okay, this is like a start button. This is like a start button with the engine. With the engine, when you click on start button, engine will start. When you click on start button, engine will start. What engine will do? It will start everything. It will enable your steering, wheels, lights, power, speakers, audio system, everything it will enable. Consider these all are like your car parts. API is like steering, service like, your stereo system, DAO is like your, tires, right? So all that who will start? Your IOC only will start. So generally when you want to start your car, right, you will push start button and car will start. It will start all of them. So IOC is such like container. It is a container. It will start all your classes. Okay. So namely we have application context, one container, Bean factory is another container. We have these two flavors, but this is not going to use. Okay, this is the basic container. When Spring people started their designing of Spring framework, they designed it, right? Still it is there, but we are not going to use it. We will use application context flavor. We call this first one is like a core container, and the second one is like a advanced container. Advanced container. So we are going to use this advanced container only. What is this container for? To start your classes. Without this container, you can't start your classes, right? To start your classes, you need to use application context. Okay. Now I will show an example, right? I'll show an example. For everyone, I'm sharing one blog URL. You please go to that blog. Okay, this is our blog only. Don't think that I'm sharing some others. So this is my blog. Go to this blog and click on it. So here you have the first one is jar files, Spring jar files. Click on it, you will get all the Spring jar files. Once after downloading these jar files, download this first example, Spring IOC core container. Download this. I wanted to show both examples, core container and advanced container. Okay, so both containers are there to help you. To help you means what? To start your car. To start your car means to start your application classes. Okay, so let's see one example here. First example I imported into Eclipse. Okay, here I have the first example, core container example. Just download and import it. Download this example and import it into your Eclipse. Add these jar files. Okay, add these jar files. So open this application. See, here I have a class. Consider this is like an engine class. Test class is like an engine class, or let me make it engine. Let me make it engine. Renaming it. Let me create one more class, AC. Create one more class, audio system. Okay, so like this, you have multiple classes considered. So you know constructors, you know the job of constructors, they will start them, right? To start any class, you need a constructor. Engine started here. When you call any class constructor means that class will start. So this is engine class, engine will start when you call this constructor. So AC will start. From AC constructor, call it AC started. Audio system. Audio system also started. When all these they will start, when all these will start, when you start your car. So here I have, let's create a car class. In this car class, I will start them. How to start? You need to integrate them together, right? All this you need to integrate together. If you put separate AC, audio system, engine separately, car will not work. You need to merge all together, right? You need to merge all together into car. So you need to fix them into one XML file first. All your ACs, right? Your AC class you need to put here. I hope you all are aware of this XML file, right? If you want to know very in detail of them, right? Join these regular sessions, definitely. You will understand pin to pin, right? Audio system, audio, AC, engine, okay. Now you need to load this into your car, which means your container. right? Core container, I said, right? Two containers are there. Bean factory application context, what they are for, right? As I said, right? To use Spring or Spring Boot, you need to well aware of core module. Here, Spring core module. This is like a start button. This is like a start button for entire Spring framework or Spring Boot. Without this, no use of learning other things. Okay. So IOC is such an important one. So in IOC, we have two containers. One is Bean factory and one is application context. Okay. So when you use Bean factory, right? When you use Bean factory, it will not start car immediately. Though you load them, it will not start your engine service. I mean, your classes, it will not start immediately. When you use Bean factory, it is lazy one. Though you click, press on the start button also, it will not start. You need to tell Bean factory, it is lazy, right? So you need to say that please start engine, please start AC, please start, what we have, audio system. You need to inform everything to start for the Bean factory. Whereas application context, if you click single button, it will start everything. Okay, let's see the difference. So here I have application context is a container loading my XML here into, Bean factory. Into Bean factory core container. This is core container, right? Core container loading my XML here. Run it means I'm starting my car. Car is started, nothing started. I click the button, nothing. It is sleeping. It is like a lazy container. Until you specify that, please start my engine, it will not start it. Factory dot get bean off. You need to specify engine. Please start the engine class. If you say, okay, I will wake up and start. Engine is started. Then what about AC? You need to specify that. Please start AC also. Then it will say, okay, AC also ready. Again, you need to start factory dot get bean off. Audio system. Then it will start audio system. Engine, AC, audio system. Now it will start. So all particular things you need to call. Otherwise, it will not instantiate them. Okay, this is a lazy one. Initially, when Pivotal, basically they started Spring Framework, right? They started with it, right? Generally, we will not use this Bean factory, right? Instead of Bean factory, we will use application context. Download second example, okay? And you can see there in the same example itself, let me cover it. How, or let me create one more car class, right? Car class, one more car, advanced car. Let me say it is advanced car. Here, instead of using this factory, I will use application context equal to new class path XML application context. Here directly you can pass this path. So this is which container? Advanced container. So now for this advanced container, you should not tell anything. You should not tell that start car, start engine, start AC. Just to start your car button, it will start your AC, audio system, engine. Everything will start. So this is like a eager container. Everything it will start on your button itself. So basically when you say application is deployed, everything need to be started. When you deployed any application, right? It is good idea to start all the classes, right? All your classes need to be started. All your classes need to be started when you when you start your application. So online food delivery system is having API services, DAOs. So which container this will use internally? It will use application context only. It will use application context only because all your classes should be start and ready. Because I'm feeling hungry. If I want to order it, if my application takes so much time to create all the objects, I may not able to order food instantly. Right. So instantly to order the food, you need to use what? Application context. It will instantiate all your classes and it will make ready of your application. Okay. So this basic must be enough for IOC, right? Now let us talk about Spring Boot. We have very less time. So lot of content we have, very good content. If you want to join, right, I would recommend you to join regular sessions. Yeah. So here, yeah. So we see about advanced container, how quick it will start your application. It will instantiate all the classes so that we would able to use the application immediately. Now let us see this same in Spring Boot. Right? When we talk about Spring Boot, right? Spring Boot is very advanced framework, very advanced framework. Right? In Spring Boot, everything is ready-made. In Spring Boot, everything is ready-made. So Spring Boot we need to use on top of Spring Framework only. For your learning also, right? If you want to start with the Spring Framework, at least IOC module, learn complete IOC module. And then on top of that, start Spring Boot. Spring Boot and microservices. At least focus on IOC module there. On top of it, go with Spring Boot. So as I said, right, Spring Boot is having built-in configurations, right? Lot of configurations given. Lot of built-in configurations, right? Lot of embedded servers they given. Embedded servers and so many features. There are so many features, list of features. I can't go into them now, but so many features they given inbuilt. So the combination of all these, right, Spring Framework and all these is Spring Boot. Apart from that, Spring Boot is having the great concept called starters. Starters means when you want dependencies in Spring Framework or in any other framework, right, you can't able to identify all the dependencies immediately. It is very difficult to find all the dependencies of your project, which means libraries. If you want to use third-party APIs, or if you want to use Java APIs, if you want to use any database APIs, it is very much difficult to identify all that jars and add into your project. Whereas in Spring Boot, they given everything combined as a starter projects. Just you need to add that starter projects into POM file so that your application will get all that libraries. So we need to add starter files, and we need not to do anything. No container required. Container in the sense like Tomcat. No Tomcat external configuration is required. No Tomcat external configuration is required. Built-in Tomcat also is available. And you need not to do any configurations. Let's say if you want to connect with the database, connect to database with the default configurations. There are default configurations already we have. So the default configurations will take care of connecting with your databases also. You can connect with any database. default configurations they given for various databases like MongoDB, OracleDB, MySQL, DB2, whatnot. For any database they given default configurations. So creating your application is simple here. Let me show you one example in Spring Boot. I'm creating a simple REST API to say to hello everyone. Okay, one hello application to say hello to everyone. One hello application I'll create. So these applications, right? Go through blog and you will able to see all the examples for a Spring Core, Spring Framework, and for Spring Boot microservices. You need to join the sessions so that we will share all the day-to-day recordings and examples, projects, everything with you. Okay, so let me show you one Spring Boot app. There are so many features in Spring Boot, not the only listed things. So many features we have. So where is it? Okay, so already this is up. So now see, creating a web application in Spring Boot, how much easy. So go to Spring Starter project. This is STS ID, right? Choose this STS ID and one demo application, demo app. So which type of project is Maven or Gradle? And how you want to deploy it as a jar or where? Jar also sufficient. Which Java version? Java 8. Which language you are using? Java. So what is your package name? com.rbu. Package com.rbu. Next, I want to create a web application. See here in Spring Boot, you will find all the dependencies. These all are the starter projects, right? Just you need to pick whatever project you want. If you want to create web application or microservice application, search for the web and add the web module. That itself enough. You are done. Create your application. See how much easy creating web application here. Just added one web dependency. So it created one project. It created one project. See here, it is importing all the libraries. Okay. I told you we will create one hello application, right? So just right click, see what it is generated by default. One properties file and one application class. In this properties file, nothing you will see. Though you are not seeing anything here also, there are thousands of properties by default enabled. So if you click control space, here, right, you will see a lot of properties here, lot of Spring properties. If you search with Spring, see, if you see, right, so many properties. Just give a keyword so that you can see a lot of properties. So by default, you can understand that properties values also. If I put server, there is a property dot port, So hover onto that port parameter and you can see the default values also it will show 8080 is the default value. So though you don't configure it also, the default value it is set. That is what default configurations. And where that port number it will use it for your Tomcat. You didn't configure any Tomcat, still it is having internally. Your Spring Web framework is having internally embedded Tomcat. So you need not to download any Tomcat server. So built-in Tomcat is available. So where it is available, you added one dependency here, right? Web dependency. This web dependency come with embedded Tomcat. So Tomcat is there for you. So you didn't have anything, you don't have anything here, just run your application. Run as Spring Boot app. I don't have any code, still run it. You will see something code is started. Already 8080 is using. Because I have Oracle database is using 8080 port number. In one single machine, you can't run multiple applications with same port number. So you put your required port number. I don't want a default one. Default one is showing a error. So let me put 9090 and run it. Go to run as Spring Boot app. Come on. I configured it, right? Properly not updated. Let me do Maven update. Okay. Start it. So Tomcat started. See, server is started, not yet shut down. Server is started in port number 9090. So it is saying starting server Tomcat. From where it is embedded one. Embedded Tomcat server. Started in port 9090. I didn't do any Tomcat setup also. If you don't want this embedded Tomcat, you can remove it. All right, we have options to remove and add new servers also. Okay, you go here. You may disable it. So disable your server, what you need to do, you need to exclude it. There is exclude tag we have. Exclusions. You need to configure here. Exclusion artifact ID and exclusion group ID. Excuse me. So here you need to add your Tomcat exclusion. So if you can add that, it will automatically exclude it. Okay. Now let's create Hello application, right? Hello application in this same server. Excuse me. So for Hello application, I want to write one API class. One simple API class I wanted to write. Go to new, write a class. Hello API. Hello API, or you can call it as Hello controller. Just you need to use @request mapping. /hello, whatever URL you want, /hello, and put @rest controller. I wanted to, allow anybody to call this from their browser directly. Now here I'll put one method, public string, say hello. Right, I'll put a get mapping here, get method. Get mapping. I'll put one path parameter here. Name. I'll take one path parameter name. So you can put that path variable here. Path variable name. Am I audible to everyone? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I lost power here. I thought, yeah, still we there. Okay. Return. I'll say hello to you, whoever submit this request. Hello, Mr. or Miss. Their name. Okay, if somebody call hello slash with their name, it will say hello to them. Okay, just restart your server. Localhost 9090 slash hello slash my name. So I'm getting hello, Mr. Naveen. If you all want to check it, you also can check it. Between, let me put that name in logs also. Or I'll put some SOP here. Or let me take all of your email IDs, okay? Email. I will take your email IDs. Just change this application to email. You registered. I will share the Git access, right? So please share your email IDs here. You registered successfully with the email. Right? I'll capture your email ID here. See how I will do it. Shut down. And let's start it. Oh. Now start it. So your application is started. I'll show you now how to publish it into public instantly. Yeah, so I will use this software to publish it. NGRock. So our application is running in port number 9090. Just give port number and run it. Copy this link and you all able to see it now. Let me share it. Click on this link. Is everybody on? Click on this link I shared in the chat. If you click that link, right? Yeah, I think one guy clicked on it. So click that link so that you will see like this. So you will see like this one page. Click on visit site. You will see one error page. So next what you do, put /hello, put /hello / your mail ID. Your mail ID here. My mail ID mandava.naveenkumar@gmail.com. Where is it? @gmail.com. So my mail ID is registered. So use this same link, put your email ID in place of my email ID, right? Just copy this link and put your email ID there. After hello, my email ID, right? Put your email ID. You should be able to register here. See, these requests are coming here. Anand Prajapat send, Ashok send, Naveen send. Now, MALM, Malam send. All your requests I can able to see here, URLs. What URLs you people are clicked. And response codes also. For all of you, it send response code 200. And the same way, in another hand, I can see your mail ID is in console also. It's a simple application. See in how much time we make it. Somebody clicked with my mail ID again. Remove my mail ID and enter your mail ID. Okay, so that you would able to access your application from anywhere. This is not a big deal. You know, making applications in Spring Boot with all the services we talked about, right? Security, transactions, email notifications, all right? Gmail sign up. We do single sign on into any applications, right? When you go into their applications, they will ask, do you want to sign up with Facebook? Do you want to sign up with Google? All that features we have. And it is easy to develop. For developing this application, did I coded anything here? Simple class I created. Nothing apart from it. If it is a servlet, lot of things you need to do. Right? That's why I said it is like a auto gear, auto driving car. Just you need to create your API bus. You need not to do anything. Such a easy framework it is. So I just wanted to share this basic knowledge. Maybe one more workshop I will conduct, okay, with multiple hours session, right? I'll cover end to end. Maybe full-time workshop I will conduct the next coming weekend. You may join there, or else if you want regular sessions, you can join my regular session also. Okay, I just want to give very basic idea, just for your quick start with Spring Boot or Spring frameworks, right? Hope you all good with it, right? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So next weekend I'll conduct full workshop. Okay. 18 hours workshop I'll conduct. That I'll schedule it maybe tomorrow. You people want to join, you can join there. Okay. So there we will discuss end to end everything. Okay, this is like an introduction session I wanted to give for your quick start of Spring applications. Okay. Yeah. So any questions?
Yes, sir.
For
One
my-
question.
Yeah.
When you use the class path application context, the return type was didn't same. May I know why? Is this okay, or you can change? It will be the same, or always
Yeah.
be the
See, this
application
is the
context?
interface, and this is the implementation. Same thing you can use, no issues.
But if we use the different return type, then what was the impact? Is there any impact or not?
You know, basic Java interface implementation, all right? Interfaces we can implement. So the left side
Yes.
one we used interface, application context. The right side one is implementation. You know that, right? Interface, let's say it is having 10 methods. You implemented 10 methods here. Along with 10 methods, 5 more methods also you implemented. Can you able to access that 15 methods using interface? Yes or no?
No.
No, only 10 methods I can access.
Yes.
Remaining 5 I can't access. If you put directly class name reference here, you can access everything. But why we are following this pattern is, right? So as I said, right, solid pattern. In this solid, if you go with Lick-Show principle, right? It will say that always pass your objects into interfaces. This is the best practice. Java, you need to learn this practice.
Okay. And one more question. The bean factory and the class path XML, both are used to get the beans. So which one is good and over?
We use application context only. And in real time, right? We discussed about Spring Boot now here. So basically internally, which container is using means when you do Spring MVC applications or boot applications, internally it will use web application context. This is the container.
Okay.
This is like a application context container only. Web application context container is the real-time container. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, basically it will take around 50 to 60 sessions if it is a regular session. In workshop, we can wrap it up around 18-hour session also. So you and your friends, if you have very less time, if you want to learn in a quick time, right? Maybe in 2 days, you join that workshop I'll conduct, maybe coming weekend or next coming weekend. Or else if you want to join regular sessions also, right? Regular session, regular batch also. One is ongoing batch at 7 a.m. we have, and one batch is going to start 8 a.m. from Monday also. You can join any batch. Okay. So
Okay.
you can share it with your friends if anybody wants to join, right? They can join. And during our regular sessions, what we do, we share daily examples, right? Blogs we have and daily examples we share, and videos also we share with everyone. So already my students are there in this session also, right? So for them, we are doing the same thing. Okay, so that's all. In regular session, right? I mean, next coming weekend, we'll plan this one weekend session. So I'm going to discuss there about all this, right? Spring Framework, Spring Boot, microservices, all the solid principles, all these discussions we will have there, right? If you guys really interested, join that sessions, regular sessions or weekend session, anything would be fine. Okay. So if you have any special requirements also, do reach out to me in our group, okay? As already you all registered there. And any updates also, I'll share it with everyone. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so that's all from my side for today. Okay, we'll catch up you in regular sessions or the next coming weekend workshop. Okay, so thank you all. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir, for all your content.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Happy weekend. Bye.